joked about calling off my wedding. But my brother confessed his love for my fiancée while leaving his pregnant wife, and convincing our family to disown us. So I think I accidentally broke my family apart. Let me explain. I 26M got engaged to my beautiful fiancée Olivia 25F 6 months ago. Olivia and I grew up together in the same neighborhood. We went to the same kindergarten and were basically inseparable till high school. We started dating when we were 18 and 17. We were in a long-distance relationship for 4 years when we were both in college, but the moment I graduated, I moved to her city to be with her and started my own business. I had enough of being apart from her during our long-distance phase, and also the timing couldn't be better. We lived together for a year while she finished nursing school and I was working hard to build my business. It took a lot of hard work, but well, business had been good and Olivia just finished nursing school last year and started working as a pediatric nurse. At that time it had been a year of us living together. I finally did what I had always dreamed of doing and proposed to her. Lucky for me, she said yes. Although we got engaged almost 2 years ago, we decided to first save up enough to buy a place of our own before spending money on a wedding because neither of us cared much about a big wedding. Everything was just perfect. It was exactly how I pictured things would be when I was young. We are both making good money and we're hoping that we could get married next year and maybe even start our own family. So yeah, things were going great. I never really thought a joke of all things could potentially ruin my life and turn my family upside down. But that's exactly what happened last week when I made a stupid remark at the family dinner. It was supposed to be a happy occasion. My parents had invited me and Olivia to celebrate their anniversary. They also invited my younger sister Kate, my older brother, Jake, and his wife Rachel. Jake and Rachel have been married for just around a year and a half and are expecting their first kid. I'm saying this now because it is important for you guys to know this before I get into what actually happened. We were all sitting around the table, enjoying the food and the wine, when my dad jokingly asked me and Rachel if we ever planned on getting married or was a permanent engagement of sorts. Before anyone comes at him saying he was being rude, I just want to clarify that my dad is a huge goofball. He has known Olivia since her childhood and already sees her as a daughter-in-law. He knew well enough that there was no question of us not getting married. He was just teasing us as dads do. I laughed, shrugged, and said something like, "Oh, you know, it's a lot of work, wonder if it's worth it, maybe we should just call it off and save ourselves the trouble." I meant it as a joke. A harmless joke. I love Olivia more than anything, and I couldn't wait to marry her. I was just trying to lighten the mood, to make everyone laugh. I was also sort of drunk and didn't realize at all that what I said could upset my fiancée. She's usually a very good sport and jokes around with me. But I don't know, it must have come across as mean and she burst into tears. I was horrified. I apologized immediately and told her that I was joking and didn't mean anything and that I couldn't wait to marry her, which is completely true. But she was very upset and ran out to the bathroom. I followed her but she wouldn't open the door. I had to come back to the dinner table and everyone was just horrified. No one finished their dinner. My mom and sister spoke to Olivia and told me she would like some time alone and would be staying over for the night. They said that I should leave and give her some space. I apologized to her again and left feeling really awful about what I just did. My fiancée is the love of my life and hurting her is the last thing I would ever do. I came home and sent her a long text apologizing for what I said and assuring her that I would never say anything like that ever again. I had complete faith in our relationship and knew that although it might take some time, we would get through this and she would forgive me. I went to bed hoping to hear from her in the morning. To say that I could not have imagined how things would actually turn out to be like would be a huge understatement. It was quite late by the time I slept that night and so I also woke up late. I tried to check my phone to see if Olivia texted but saw that it was dead. Of course, I forgot to plug it in before I slept at night. I panicked wondering if I had missed any calls or texts from Olivia while my phone was dead, and the moment I plugged it in I saw that there were dozens of missed calls and texts, not just from Olivia but also from my mom, my dad, my sister, and even my sil. I was terrified. I immediately called Olivia but she didn't pick up, so I called my mom. The moment she picked up she was practically screaming at me asking where on earth I was and everyone has been trying to reach me for ages. I tried to explain that I had just forgotten to plug my phone in but she just told me to not waste any more time and to drive home immediately. I drove faster than I probably ever did and kept calling Olivia on the way but she didn't pick up. This just made my anxiety worse and I kept thinking of the worst case scenarios. Easily the most stressful 15 minutes of my life. I reached home and as soon as I pulled over I could hear screaming. You can imagine the effect that had on me. I ran home and made my way to the kitchen because that's where all the commotion was coming from. The whole family was there. Olivia was looking extremely upset and my mom was screaming at everyone. My sister was the first one to see me and announced it to everyone. When my mom and Olivia saw me, all hell broke down. My mom started screaming at me saying that my stupidity had destroyed this family forever. I was so confused I asked my sister what was going on. She said that I would be better off asking my fiancé. My mom referring to Olivia as my fiancé was odd in itself. She has always been close and affectionate with her and called her Livy. I turned to Olivia and asked her to please tell me what was going on. She said that we should talk in private. My mother had stormed out of the kitchen by then. So Olivia and I went to my bedroom to talk. I was beyond stressed at this point and begged her to tell me what happened. She said that I should just calm down and hear her out. It was too late to calm down at that point. I told her that I was fine and to just tell me what was going on. She took a breath and told me that early in the morning today she heard someone knock on her door and when she opened it she saw my brother standing there. She was a bit surprised and asked him what's up and he said he had to talk about something important. She asked what and he said it would be better if they could talk in private. She agreed and they decided to take a walk together. Now this is where things went wrong. They had just walked around the corner of our block and my brother asked her how she was feeling after all that happened last night. She said that she was fine and that she just had an outburst and had already tried calling me to talk but my phone was off. She said that she was planning to go back home to me after breakfast. My brother looked at her for a bit and then started saying stuff like how he had seen us. He met me and Olivia for years and always thought that I wasn't kind to her and that she deserves someone who respects her and values her time. Olivia got a little uncomfortable and tried to defend me saying how I am just goofy at times and joke around but I love her and would never try to hurt her. My brother interrupted her at that and said that she didn't have to pretend anymore and that she should raise her standards and be with someone better instead of settling for me. She was confused and weirded out and asked him why he was saying all that. He told her that there was no easy way of saying this but he had been in love with her for years and always hoped that she and I would break up so he could ask her out and only settled for his wife because we got engaged. Olivia was shocked. She told me that she initially thought that he was joking and laughed, asking him to stop messing around and even asking him if I had set this whole thing up to tease her. When it became clear that this wasn't a joke and that he was being genuine, she was horrified and was watching them from some hidden spot. He told her that he hoped she would think about it and give an answer to him because he wanted to marry her and would never make her wait so long with a ring like I had. He said he had left my sil and would give her anything she wanted. He even went far enough to tell her that if she wanted to they could elope and start their new life together away from all of us. As expected, she was horrified and told him off, saying he was a monster for doing this to his pregnant wife and that she was disgusted with him. She stormed off and came back to the house. She wanted to quickly say bye to the family and come back to our place. She didn't want to tell anyone in my family about this. But it was already too late for that. Guess who she saw in the house when she was back? My sil. She was sobbing to my mother and sister and when she saw Olivia, she got so angry and literally lunged at her and had to be held back by my sister. Pretty dramatic, as you can imagine. Apparently, when she woke up that morning, she saw that my brother wasn't there and after looking for him around their apartment she found a note on their bedside table. The note was from him and he had written that he was sorry but he couldn't live a lie anymore and had to leave because this could be his only chance to be with Olivia before it was too late. She checked and apparently, he had taken his clothes and some other stuff from the apartment as well. The poor girl was obviously devastated and tried reaching out but realized that he had blocked her. So she decided to check if he was at my mom's place and just after she reached, she saw Olivia and just went livid. There was a lot of screaming and a lot of name-calling involved. Olivia was called a homewrecker among other things. My mom was incredibly embarrassed and took it out on Olivia and me. My dad tried to calm things down but my mom just told him to not interfere. They all tried to reach me but of course, as luck would have it I was unavailable. My sil left our house saying that she would never forgive this family because it is because of us that she has to be a single mom now. By that time I had spoken to my mom and was already on my way. Apparently, they had tried to call my brother as well but he was not getting back to anyone. So that's what happened. I honestly was too much in shock to even process all this. For a while, I just stared at her. I don't think I have still processed it honestly. Olivia said that she had tried to explain that she had no clue about all this and this was the first time my brother had said all this. I know for a fact that's true. I can't believe that he had apparently been feeling these things for so long.